We just appreciate anything that anyone could give us any information on them.
You owe it to your child to give them appropriate, intelligent information.
America Undercover continues to investigate the hard-hitting and relevant issues that profoundly affect people's lives. 2 of these shows are now in production. Drunk and Deadly relives a day on America's highways. On May 17, 1986, 81 people died in drunk driving accidents. 5 of those accidents are brought to light, including profiles of the actual survivors.
It was a scary feeling to be charged with negligent homicide and on top of losing a friend and then having to go to jail.
Debbie Thaler Demers suffers from Hodgkin's disease. Last spring, she helped her sister Terry with the same illness to die. In Death by Love, America Undercover takes a concerned look at her story and others like them. In another upcoming and important original, HBO will explore the possible hazards certain foods may have on your health, even those foods that could be on your own dinner table. And finally, in Acts of Rage, we look into the lives of those who take the law into their own hands. Original programming from HBO.
The movies, the stars, the big events. You'll see them here. Nobody brings it home like HBO in '87. It's the year to watch.
Next, a timeless tale of the immortals and their drive toward destruction. Christopher Lambert and Sean Connery cleave a slice through history in the adventure Highlander. Next.
I was always ridiculed by my brothers because I was not really what you call an athlete. I was never athletically inclined to do anything other than be the first at the dinner table because I have 3 older brothers and 3 sisters. And the key to having a good meal was to being first at the table. So boxing became a sport that my older brother Roger was participating in, and he encouraged me to go to the recreation center. There's so much to say about my family because my family is my life. They're the ones to help me maintain sanity as far as this crazy world is concerned. I think that boxing, as a sport, is a very good sport, mainly because it exercises good, clean living, no smoking, no drinking, and what have you. It gives a young man, a kid, a young boy, a chance to be independent, a chance to be disciplined. I think it's an excellent sport.
Nobody brings it home like HBO. Nobody.
Everyone's talking about Seabert, a brand new show for kids who love animals.
I like Seabert. Seabert's cute and cuddly, and he's funny.
Yeah, it was really good. Good cartoon.
Seabert is a hero.
Seabert's a lot of fun.
Join Seabert and his friends on their mission to save animals all over the world. The Really Cool Adventures of Seabert begin every Sunday morning at 8:30, starting April 5th on HBO.
For Jack Casey, life in the fast lane just hit a dead end.
How bad is it, son? Dad, I lost it all.
His business has moved to the other side of town.
You are smart. You have brains. You're throwing it away on that goddamn bicycle.
Where the office is always open.
The street is free enterprise, Gypsy. You work your side, I work mine.
The competition is all inside.
When I'm on the street, I feel good. I feel exhilarated.
And survival is the only payday worth waiting for. Kevin Bacon stars in Quicksilver, this week on the Saturday Night Movie.
Soar through a film of majestic beauty, then plunge into a world of intrigue and anguish as HBO presents a double bill that's the best, last year's best. First, join Robert Redford and Meryl Streep.
Doesn't it matter to you that I'm another man's wife?
In the Best Picture award-winning Out of Africa, a story of two people whose love of a land was as great as their love for each other.
Why am I here?
Because I wanted you to see all this. I thought you'd understand it.
Then, from Argentina, it's last year's winner for Best Foreign Film.
Every day you read something about people who are missing, and babies missing too.
The official story.
Start fooling around with incendiaries. Sooner or later you get explosions.
Don't let Mommy get angry at you. Now remember.
Last year's best, Sunday, March 29th on HBO.
All of these people have one thing in common. They're all part of this year's original series lineup on HBO. Let's take a closer look at some of the stars and the shows that only HBO brings you. Our new comedy adventure series, Glory Years, begins in June. Let's go straight to the stars to find out what it's all about.
About three guys who used to go to high school together.
See, I think it's about a woman.
It's like three stooges and a gal go to Vegas.
One thing's a sure bet, we're gonna have the time of our lives in Glory Years.
In May, we continue the HBO Showcase tradition with Conspiracy, the trial of the Chicago 8.
The real conspiracy was an attack on the rights of everybody, all of us American citizens, all.
This powerful recreation of the historic 1970 trial features an all-star cast and on-camera interviews with the real-life participants.
There was a hell of a lot of tanks, a hell of a lot of National Guard.
When he appears, strange things happen.
Okay, glamour and danger.
You're incredible.
You'll see all new episodes of our popular thriller series, The Hitchhiker.
And hope to die.
Why do they subject themselves to the torture, the agony?
We love the game, and we love the money.
Well, there's that reason. But they do it to bring you another winning season of the hit comedy series, First and 10. Join O.J. Simpson, Delta Burke, and the California Bulls this fall for the new episodes Going for Broke.
Go for it.
For the family, HBO's award-winning series Fraggle Rock continues.
Wow, I gotta go back and tell the others.
You know, Fraggles aren't just for kids. Ask the man behind the Fraggles, Jim Henson.
Fraggle Rock, we're thinking of it being more for children. At the same time, you kind of hope that you get the whole audience, just as I think any really good piece of children's literature does.
And beginning in April, a new series, Seabert, joins Fraggle Rock every Sunday morning at 8 for a special hour of family entertainment. Original series, all year long, only on, you guessed it, HBO.
On March 30th, the 59th Annual Academy Awards will be seen by approximately 1 billion people worldwide. But for the past 5 years, the Motion Picture Academy has honored its nominees at a more intimate gathering, held a few weeks before the awards ceremony, the Academy Award Nominees Luncheon. On March 18th at the Hilton Hotel in Beverly Hills, the Academy and some of its more distinguished members cheered some of their best and brightest. And at this gathering, where certificates of nomination were awarded,
nominated for Best Actress in a Supporting Role for Crimes of the Heart, Tess Harper.
Talk was of what else? Movies.
I'm finding a great many scripts are being written for me, which is very nice, characters that might interest me. And I'm starting to be in the position to start to develop my own work that interests me. So, in fact, it's getting a lot easier.
There's a magical, mysterious quality to these things that are hidden, and they're like magnets that pull you in. And when you can get a story that takes you into these unknown places, it's particularly interesting to me.
It was a special film to me from the get-go. I didn't know how other people would react to it. I had the model of Salvador before it. That wasn't a widely seen film. I thought that the same thing might happen to Platoon.
Working with Oliver Stone was a difficult, great, complex, exhilarating, wonderful experience.
The luncheon recalls a time when the awards themselves were presented at a lavish banquet. In 1939, when the Oscar was a mere 11 years old, Bob Hope hosted the dinner.
You know me, I'm just the man who came to dinner.
Even though television coverage was a long way away, newsreels told all.
Yes, everybody's here. Tall, bashful James Stewart and a lovely girl. Everybody? You bet everybody. Scarlett O'Hara, her glorious self. Vivian Lee, escorted by producer David Selznick. Hedda Hopper, actress-columnist, beaming in her own gracious person, and with her, John Carroll. Look, Andy Hardy's sweetheart, Ann Rutherford, and not with Andy, scandal.
The past and the present tell a story of excitement and anticipation that has surrounded the Academy Awards for almost 60 years. And the Nominees Luncheon gives those honored with a nomination a chance to bask in the spotlight and build the suspense.
I am usually a betting guy, but I'm not going to bet on this one.
Oliver Stone, I think, is going to win.
A friend of mine gave me a lucky dollar from Chinese New Year, and I've hung on to that ever since the nomination.
I think everybody should get an award. It's very hard to measure one performance against another.
And when Tess Harper was asked what her chances were...
1 in 5.
This is HBO Out of Hollywood.
Robert Loggia, known for his roles in Jagged Edge and Fritzi's Honor, is currently starring in Over the Top with Sylvester Stallone. In this new film, Loggia takes on the role of a grandfather for the first time.
Actually think that you can get away with what you've done? You think you can come in here, destroy my home, and take Michael with you? Michael Cutler is my boy. You've deserted him years ago, and that's a fact that you can't change, no matter what you do. Damn you!
He's a man on the Howard Hughes level of wealth. He's a larger-than-life, not just your everyday millionaire. He's a billionaire plus, and extremely powerful and tough and intelligent. And he has no use for this Stallone character. He doesn't want him tainting his grandson.
Grandfather always said you were a loser. Now you're trying to make me one, and I hate you for it.
Loggia's adversary is Stallone, the boy's natural father who's fighting for the love and respect of a son he left long ago.
It's a very sentimental picture, very un-Rambo-esque, and but I guess in some way sort of a Rocky-type picture, but he doesn't play a boxer. Stallone, that is. The picture's closer to the Champ in a way, in terms of the relationships.
Besides having a starring role in Over the Top, Sylvester Stallone also co-wrote the screenplay.
I consider Stallone just a tremendous actor and a tremendous success, and I was fascinated with working with him. They say an actor is best served when he chooses his directors. But I think an actor is also well served when he chooses his fellow actors. I think the power of this project was with Sly Stallone, and I wanted to work with him.
Over the Top borrows its title from the very sport the story is centered around.
It comes from the arm wrestling, which is part of it. He's a trucker who stops and makes a buck challenging a guy in a bar, so who can go over the top of the other guy. But if you put the arm down, you come over the top and you win. So the finale of this movie does, in fact, take place in Las Vegas, where they do have the arm wrestling championships, and there were these characters down there with 23-inch biceps, you know, and necks and head. I mean, they look like bison.
Too bad your old man's yellow, kid.
And while working on the film, did Loggia challenge any of these rather intimidating types?
I did not, no. I'm over the hill, not over the top.
This is HBO Out of Hollywood. Return to a galaxy far, far away. Return for the greatest adventure of all time. Return of the Jedi. The Star Wars saga lives on with old friends. Rebels fighting to restore freedom to the galaxy. New enemies and new allies.
May the Force be with us.
Aliens from 1,000 worlds. And the dark side concealing a darker secret.
Is Darth Vader my father?
If you will not fight, then you will meet your destiny.
A destiny to be fulfilled?
Soon the rebellion will be crushed and young Skywalker will be one of us.
Or refused. Return for the climactic clash between good and evil. Return of the Jedi. Wednesday on HBO. Once upon a time, in 1985, there lived a young man named Marty McFly. A lovely lady held him in thrall. His noble family had far to go. Marty was a brave lad who took setbacks in stride. But even Marty wasn't prepared to be set back quite as far as he was that night in the Twin Pines shopping mall.
You built a time machine? What, a DeLorean?
When this baby hits 88 miles per hour, you're gonna see some serious
Which one's your pop?
That's him. Maybe we were adopted.
Well, what's with the life preserve?
Apparently your mother is amorously infatuated with you instead of your father.
So once upon a time, in 1955, there lived a young man out of time whose only quest was to get back to the future. Premieres Wednesday, April 1st on HBO.
HBO, where the new age of comedy begins. HBO's On Location connects you right to the funny bone of the new club comedy, uncensored the way the comedians meant it to be. Sam Kinison got his break on HBO's 9th annual Young Comedian Special.
Michael, if you ever think about getting married, if you ever think you've met the right woman, you want to settle down, change your life, you do me a favor, Mike? Remember this face.
Now Sam's on the loose again with On Location Sam Kinison. And no wonder HBO takes you on location for HBO Presents Emo. Would you feel safe with a guy like this on your own premises?
People come up to me concerned that I'll reproduce.
And HBO goes to Carnegie Hall to see a master comedian at work. An evening with Alan King.
The wind is blowing 40 miles an hour. Not one hair on Ronald Reagan's head moved. But his neck kept swaying in the breeze.
From Eddie Murphy Productions, HBO presents Uptown Comedy Express. On board some brilliant, hot young comedians.
We got my man Chris Rock, Yo Home B.
And we love you.
Plus musical guests Brian O'Neill and the Busboys. And paying their respects to America's beloved humorist Will Rogers are Dan Aykroyd, Chevy Chase, Rodney Dangerfield.
Why, Will Rogers, he got famous telling jokes while he twirled his rope. I tried using a rope in my act once. The audience tried to hang me.
Plus Harold Ramis and Robin Williams. Will Rogers, look back in laughter. On HBO, the news is not necessarily the news when the powerful and famous prove they have major comedy potential. And TV commercials get special treatment.
Mad Dog McGrath, put a lunatic on your side before they put one on theirs.
Comedy that's wild, satirical, classic.
Why don't you keep adding a word each time till your brain explodes?
Strange. HBO, where the new age of comedy begins. The movies, the stars, the big events. You'll see them here. Nobody brings it home like HBO in '87. It's the year to watch.
The following movie has been rated R by the Motion Picture Association of America. It is intended for mature audiences. Parents may wish to consider whether it should be viewed by children under 17.